That's a great question. And first, to even be thinking about looking for a spiritual director means you're responding to something, and that is something you want to give permission to. It's a really important question and quest. So thank you for asking that question and being willing to look, and for the courage to look, the courage to take that step. So what the heck is spiritual direction? You may have already had a spiritual director or a spiritual guide, or you've heard of somebody that has somebody that listens to them in that context. You might want to learn about it. Go to the Spiritual Directors International website first, where you can get some great questions to ask. That's number one. So you're looking for a spiritual director. You're taking that next step. And ask around. First of all, maybe there's a retreat center, or there's a place of worship that you go to, or you have a friend or a colleague or a family member. That's a good place to start. So call retreat centers, call formation programs for spirituality, call your local university. Find out around in your area where there might be some resources. Another great resource is the Spiritual Directors International website. There's more than 6,000 spiritual directors listed there. They're all different faith denominations, faith traditions, and they're all over the world. And you can search on a Google linkable map to find somebody in your area. But here's what's really cool about technology, and you wouldn't be watching this if you didn't like technology. If you're interested, there's also telephone spiritual direction and webcam spiritual direction. So the gift of technology is enabling us to connect in ways we've never connected. But face-to-face spiritual direction, or even group spiritual direction, is wonderful. So begin by asking questions and opening your mouth and seeking, and then perhaps you'll be opening the doors to find somebody. Okay, so you've located a few people that you might want to contact. We invite you to think about interviewing them. You want somebody that's going to be a really good fit for you and where you are in your journey right now, today. Not what's best for your friend's journey, or your mom or your dad's journey, or the person that you're first hearing about this from. You want to find somebody that's going to be a great fit for you. There's a set of questions that can help you discern that on the Spiritual Directors International website, and I encourage you to look through those. The questions will enable you to ask yourself what you're really seeking. They'll enable you to know what you're looking for with as much clarity as you can find. And then the rest of those will happen when you actually interview somebody. And if you've never had a spiritual director, you'll have 5 or 6 questions to take with you for that first initial session or conversation with a person, and that can be helpful. And you might want to find out, just here's a couple tidbits you'll know, where did they get their training? Are they currently engaged in spiritual direction or spiritual guidance with somebody else for their own journey? What's their grounding? What's their understanding of the holy or the divine or God or whatever the name is for the one often called mystery? So there's some good questions to ask, and I encourage you to really be deliberate in that part of your seeking so you can discern well. For me, it's really important to have an initial session or an initial conversation where when you go there, you can ask questions of the spiritual director or guide. They can ask questions of you, and you can mutually discern together if this is going to be a good fit. And it would be really ideal to interview a couple people so you can get a taste and sense of who can companion you well. And you want to be free to walk away and never ever see that person again. So don't expect to show up and tell your whole life story in that initial session. Think of it as an interview. You're gathering information that you're going to walk away with, and you're going to sit with and listen to and see what sparks inside of you. And then give it a week or two. You might immediately have a sense, yes, this is the person. But you still want to walk away and sit with it for a minute and go forward. I encourage you to really take your next best step and know that Spiritual Directors International does not endorse anybody, recommend anybody, and this is your journey. and you are the one that is taking your steps. Honor that place, really listen well inside of you so that this journey, this sacred journey as I would call it, you might have different language for it, really can be life-giving and energizing and bring your life to its fullest expression, not only for your own life, but for the ways that you show up for others. And having somebody companion you in this way, at least for me, I've been in spiritual direction for 20 years, is one of the most life-giving gifts that I've had. And I really, really am excited that you're thinking about this process. And I bless you in this process.